What if everything you know is wrong?
You ever get that feeling that your job has just completely taken over your life? Like those lines between your 9 to 5 and your actual you time, they've basically vanished. Well, if you feel that way, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to dive deep into this modern work-life crisis and try to figure out, how exactly did our jobs become our identities? I mean, just think about it. The last time you met someone new, what did you say? It was probably your name and then, boom, your job title, right? It's like a reflex for most of us, just a quick social shortcut. But it's also a huge tell. It reveals so much about how we see ourselves and, maybe more importantly, how society sees us.
Okay, now get this. What if I told you that for the first time ever, the number one thing people are looking for in a job isn't more money? It's true. A staggering 83% of workers now say that work-life balance is the single most important factor when they're choosing a job. Yeah, that's right. It now ranks even higher than pay.
So, let's be clear. This isn't just some passing trend. We're talking about a massive, seismic shift in our culture. It's a total reevaluation of what we even consider a good job anymore. It's definitely not just about climbing the ladder these days. And look, this goes way beyond just wanting more vacation days. People are actively hunting for jobs that give them healthier routines, predictable schedules, a real sense of stability. They're basically demanding a more sustainable way to work and live, and they're willing to trade some of those traditional, flashy perks to get it.
So the big question is, why does this imbalance feel so intense? Well, to really get to the bottom of it, we have to peel back a layer and look at how our professional and personal identities have gotten totally tangled up.
Okay, so a huge piece of the puzzle is just simple math, right? We spend a massive chunk of our lives at work. But there's more to it. Think about it. Other traditional pillars of our identity, things like tight-knit communities or religious groups, they've kind of faded for a lot of people, and work has just rushed in to fill that void. Society totally reinforces this from the second we're kids, asking us, what do you want to be when you grow up? Not, what do you want to do? See the difference? So you throw in that pride you get from your achievements, plus a little bit of our own perfectionism, and bam, you've got the perfect recipe for tying your entire self-worth to a job title. And this is where it gets really dangerous. Let's be real. If your job is you, then a missed deadline isn't just a work problem. It feels like a personal attack. A tough critique from your boss, it cuts deep. And a layoff, that's not just about losing your income. It can literally feel like you're losing your entire sense of self. This whole mindset is a super fast track straight to burnout and crippling self-doubt. So, in response to all this anxiety, a really interesting new idea is popping up. People are calling it the portable self. The whole idea is to build a professional identity that is not tied to one single company. You can think of it like a career toolkit that you carry with you. It's filled with skills and experiences that are valuable no matter where you end up working. And it turns out there are two main ways people are going about building this portable self. First, you've got the externally anchored approach. This is the super pragmatic path. You see your job as a platform to just grab as many skills as you can. You adapt, you do whatever it takes to get ahead. Then there's the internally anchored path. This one is more about your values. You see work as a place for self-expression, and you're really careful about choosing the right environment that lets you be you and use your natural talents.
But, this isn't just some internal psychological battle we're all fighting on our own. A lot of the time, our workplaces themselves are set up in a way that pretty much guarantees we're going to feel stressed and burned out.
And the data really tells the story here. I mean, just look at the top reasons people are burning out. The top two slices, too much work and not enough resources. They add up to almost half of the problem, a combined 48%. We're just being stretched way too thin. And then you pile on the stress from the economy and labor shortages. It's just a recipe for disaster.
And the scale of this problem, honestly, it's just massive. Get ready for this number. Globally, we lose 12 billion working days every single year because of anxiety and depression. That's billion with a B. So this isn't just a personal wellness issue, right? This is a huge economic problem with a price tag of nearly $1 trillion in lost productivity.
And check this out. Burnout is hitting younger generations the hardest by a long shot. A truly shocking 83% of workers between 18 and 34 say they've experienced burnout. Now, does that number, 83%, sound familiar? It should, because it's the exact same percentage of people who now say that balance is more important than pay. The connection there is crystal clear. All right, so we've established it's not just you, and it's not just your workplace. So what's left? Well, we need to peel back one final layer. We have to look at the big, systemic forces that are shaping this whole mess. This quote really hits the nail on the head. Work-life imbalance for women is not a private failure, but a systemic one. It just perfectly captures this idea that our societal structures create these deep, deep imbalances. For so many people, especially women, who often carry the extra weight of unpaid caregiving, the struggle to balance everything isn't because they're bad at time management. It's because the system itself often wasn't built for them to succeed in the first place. And some analyses point their finger directly at the economic system. The argument goes like this. When workers are seen mainly as tools for production, just a means to an end, and the profits they help create don't really circle back to improve their well-being, it can create this feeling of detachment, a real why should I care attitude. I mean, why would you go the extra mile if you don't feel valued, right?
And you can really see how much these big systems matter when you just look at national policies. Take a country like Norway. They mandate 25 days of annual leave. Finland gives 24. Now compare that to just 10 days in a place like Canada. It's pretty obvious that these policies create totally different foundations for workers to rest, recover, and find any kind of real balance.
Okay, so we've pretty much diagnosed this problem from every angle, from our own psychology all the way up to the system. So, what's the solution? Where do we go from here? The good news is there is a clear path forward, but it's not simple. It's going to take action on two different fronts.
At the end of the day, real lasting change needs to happen on both a personal level and a systemic level. So on the individual side, it means we have to actively work to redefine our identities outside of our job titles. It's about carving out that time for hobbies, for friends, for family, and treating it not like an afterthought, but like a core part of who we are. It's about living by our values, not our job description. But, and this is a huge but, all that personal work is almost impossible without support from the system. Organizations have to meet us halfway. We're talking about real flexibility, not just empty promises. It means investing in actual capacity planning, so teams aren't constantly drowning in work. And it means building a culture where logging off on time isn't just okay, it's actually encouraged and respected.
So here's the bottom line. You are a whole person. You are not a walking resume. Your worth is not defined by your productivity or your job title, ever. So the question we're all left with is a really big one. What does a system that truly works for us, all of us, our whole selves, both in and out of the office, what does that actually look like? That's a question we all need to start asking. Seriously.
Understanding begins with why.